refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their gilt rings. Right, the bouncer's gilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. A little challenge for Spencer Oliver here. Try not to move during this.
I won't move. I mean, what do you think? I'll get excited sometimes, overexcited sometimes, or what? I mean, since when do I move?
You're doing it right now. How are you?
Do you know what? I'm really good, mate. I'm looking forward to the return of Joshua Buatsi. That's what I'm doing. I've been vocal about it in the past, saying that, Buatsi weren't just the best prospect in British boxing, but he was the best prospect globally for me, and I think that he's lost a little bit of ground. We've seen other light heavyweights now in his division in Britain moving up. Dan Aziz is for one, Anthony Yard putting in that great performance against Beterbiev. We've even got Lyndon Arthur in the mix as well, so there's massive fights here for him in the UK, but against this Steppian's a tough guy. He's unbeaten, he's tough, but I don't expect him to beat Buatsi. I just think that Buatsi needs to get those rounds under his belt. I think we'll see a great performance. Then I want to see him in the mix with some of these big guys, some of the other names I've just mentioned.
Yeah, Steppian's a good test because obviously he was meant to fight Callum Smith not too long ago. Obviously that fight didn't materialise. Callum Smith was out injured. So this is a good gauge of kind of where Buatsi is right now. But you're right, we do want to see him in with, there's a lot of domestic opponents that we would put Buatsi in with right now, and we want to see those kind of fights.
Absolutely, that division right now is stacked with talent, and it doesn't have to be titles on the line. I think that was proven last time when Ryan Garcia boxed Tank Davis. That they boxed at a catch weight, but what I'm saying is there was no titles on the line, and it was a huge fight. I think that boxing fans have been frustrated in recent times with fights not materialising for one reason or another, politics getting in the way, whether that's broadcasters, not enough money on the table. So let's see the best fighting the best, and there's some great fights out there with these British light heavyweights right now. Want to see Buatsi perform on Saturday night. He's in with a tough guy, a guy that's going to bring it, but I expect him to do the job and do it in good style, and then I want to see him in with those names I mentioned.
Not long to find out. I do want to ask you about something that's been talked about over the last kind of 24 hours or so, Thomas Hauser's article about Anthony Joshua. Well, the main points of it is that he said that it's probably time to call it a day. Your thoughts on that, Spencer Oliver?
I mean, my thoughts on that are probably the same as your thoughts, and I've not even asked you about this, but what a load of bullshit. Why should Anthony Joshua be retiring? Why should he be calling it a day? Anthony Joshua is responsible for bringing boxing back to the mainstreams here in Britain from that 2012. What he's achieved, going on two-time world heavyweight champion. You can't judge him off 2 losses to Alexander Usyk, where he's lost and people are going, he's gone gun-shy, this and that. Yes, his performance against Franklin was not the best performance. We still need to see improvements. That doesn't mean that he's shot. That just means that he needs to be more active to have that confidence in his own ability to let those hands go from phase 1 to phase 2. The old Anthony Joshua is what we need back. We saw glimpses of it against Franklin, but not nearly enough. If they're talking about this 4-man competition, Joshua has to be a lot better than he was against Franklin, or he don't beat Wilder, and he don't beat Fury, and he don't even beat Usyk again. But I still think there's more to come. I still think we're going to see more. Hopefully we see Joshua out maybe July time. I've heard whispers that that's where it could be. Maybe, I don't know, Dillian White or someone like that would be a great opponent for him. Then we can judge him after that. Let's see what that performance is like then, because then he would have been more active. But yeah, don't write him off just now. And talking about retirement, what a load of bullshit.
I know, listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion to a certain degree, and kind of boxing is full of opinions, Spencer, as we know. But this looked like a kind of a different angle from Hauser, almost to say, AJ, read this and listen to what I'm saying, because this is what I think. Almost like he's qualified enough, and Thomas Hauser's a great writer, but let's not kind of make too short of that fact. But he's a great writer, but almost that kind of opinion from a media perspective for a professional fighter like Anthony Joshua to call it a day. I mean, that's where...
Yeah, I think the problem was like he was basically saying, look, Anthony, you've earned, you've achieved what you've achieved. You've earned enough money for 3 generations of your family. Just retire now. Well, why? He still feels like he wants to achieve more in the sport. You know, I know this personally, that Anthony Joshua wants to become a three-time world heavyweight champion. Boxing is his love, his passion. He loves this game. He's not just doing it for the money. He's got the money now. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to get out of bed now. He does it because he loves it. And he still feels like he can achieve more. And he wants to box everyone of this generation. You know, I think that to create legacies, to cement legacies, you have to box everyone of the generation. I don't give a shit what people think. Anthony Joshua wants to fight Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua wants to fight Deontay Wilder. He wants to fight the best of this generation. And he hasn't done that yet. So he still feels that there's a lot left, you know, to continue with. So, yeah, I don't agree with Thomas on those statements. I understand it, but I don't agree with it. If he feels that he's not on a decline, Anthony. He's just lost his way a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But he's not on a decline. He just needs to rediscover stuff.
Okay, this press conference is just about to start, but just before we do end, look, the talks we're hearing from Eddie Hearn over the last couple of days is this fantasy night that we hope and pray does happen. Things are moving forward. AJ's already said kind of out of his own mouth and obviously from the words of Eddie Hearn that, you know, he's fully in to fight Wilder. We're hearing kind of positive things on that front, but that the prospects of having Fury and Usyk on the same night, it still sounds a little bit far-fetched, but, I mean, if anyone's going to do it, the Saudis can do it. We know that. So are you optimistic it can happen?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I know that these conversations have been ongoing. I know that the money that's on the table, so it is a reality. I think Anthony Joshua's happy. He wants to go into it. Alexander Usyk's happy. He wants to go into it. Deontay Wilder wants it because there's 3 massive paydays there. The guy that will be getting the biggest payday will be Tyson Fury, and I'm not sure where he's at with that and whether he's accepted or not, but I think we're very close to it, mate. I think that when we first heard it, you thought, come on, fuck off.
You heard it from Simon, though, didn't you? He rung you up 2 o'clock in the morning, went, Spence, guess what I've heard?
It weren't 2 o'clock in the morning, but yeah, he did ring me. But you know, Simon does have connections over there. He speaks to people, and those conversations that he told me have obviously come out, and it does seem true because Eddie's been over there as well. So this is something that could become a reality, and boxing needs this because of the shit that boxing's been through with the politics of the sport getting in the way and different broadcasters, etc. Fights falling through. It's been frustrating. We need to see those fights, and hopefully, Cougs, we get it. How'd I do, by the way? I've not swayed at all.
Done well. Press conference just started, so Spencer Oliver, thank you very much, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
Cheers, mate.
I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,